Hey everybody, how's it going? It's your boy Dylan James here with another episode of At Least You Know Comedy Show. Before you start this episode, make sure that you've watched episode 52. Tori and I worked really hard on that episode. We worked really hard on watching 31 days of scary movies. It was awful. It was brutal. Go check out that episode. It's hilarious. Anyway, moving on. So, little disclaimer. This episode was kind of weird, a little bit different. I mean, I keep saying that at the beginning of every episode because every episode's fucking different. But this episode was Abby Carter, who is James Carter, who's been on the podcast now a third time. His wife was here with us, and she did a tarot reading for me and Tori. We got a lot of positive feedback about the Dream Interpretations episode, so I wanted to have somebody that kind of knows what they're talking about, not just some call me now for your bumbleclout reading type motherfucker. So anyway, welcome to the studio, Abby Carter and James, and let us know in the comments what you guys think about this. Make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel and subscribe to our Instagram. We're going to be doing the 12 Days of Christmas. If you guys watched the last episode, please do. You'll hear about what movies we're going to watch, and that's about it. Thanks for watching. Episode of At Least You Know Comedy Show. We have two cameras in here, guys. This is weird. It's very strange. Today in the studio we have the returning for the third time. Is it third time?
Third time.
Returning for the third time, James Carter, and his lovely wife Abby Carter is here with us for the first time, and she's going to be doing some spooky stuff for us. She had some opinions on the Dream Interpretation episode, and I would like for her to kind of talk about those a little bit. And she's gonna do a tarot read, and Tori is spooked.
Yeah, I'm not ready. I've seen a psychic. I've done those things, but I've never done tarot cards.
Psychics you might not want to mess with. Yeah.
Yeah, that lady, thank God she had enough rosary beads to strangle an entire orphanage, because when I tell you, like, literally they were hanging from everywhere. I was like, okay, I feel safer here. Tons
Dangerous
of crosses.
Going home after one of those.
Yeah, tons of crosses everywhere.
Okay, so we talked a little bit about it. Give me some of your opinions on the Dream Interpretations episode, because you kind of, the way that you came across, you were kind of like, that lady didn't know what the fuck she was talking about. She's kind of dumb. And the thing that got me was the exact thing that James sent me. He says, "You're powerful."
And then like, it was the mom from The Nutty Professor.
God damn it, Hercules!
You're so powerful, Dylan.
So powerful.
I've been using that around the house.
Oh, it's perfect. It's perfect.
Well, the reader definitely sounds like she's there for her day job.
Mm-hmm.
You can't. How did she say it? Like, "Come forth, spirit guide," or something. And it's just with a boom, be there. Not how it's going to work. It actually takes a little bit of effort. As far as the reading, I felt like she was putting too much emphasis on trying to make you feel better. But sometimes, truth hurts. I don't know how to put it. The more positive, probably, the more she gets. Mm-hmm. More business she gets. And I don't know, that everything she said seemed completely opposite in my mind. I am new in practicing. I just found out that I am a witch about a year and a half.
Yeah, practicing about half of that.
Yeah. And it actually goes very far back in my family, but reading has become, I would say, one of my top skills. Mm-hmm. Since knowing what I am. Apart from that, it was more just almost of being a really strong empath. So if you could definitely recap the ones that you had with your friends, but as far as the one that you got from your grandfather, hit hard. Mm-hmm. That one hit very hard, especially when you're saying you're going down to this place, which I was assuming that as a child you were always scared of. Mm-hmm. And then for it to be like clinical and just, like light after light after light and then just wall, that represents some pretty dark stuff. And especially if it stopped would you say, around his death?
Like, I haven't had one since he died. So, I mean, immediately after his death, I haven't had one since.
I definitely feel that something that was tied to him knew, I'm assuming y'all were closer at some point. And when y'all were closer, there was definitely something attached to him that kind of wanted you. But if the dreams stopped, then you're in the clear. You're pretty good.
That's good news.
Yes. It would. I've dealt with some things, so it's not anything
we've had some
that
shit
you
follow
wanted.
us from multiple residences.
No
Sorry
thanks.
about that. Yeah. My fault.
I hope you don't get anything from here because we have heard and seen like weird shit happen here.
I know that's why I was asking, like, which room is
This
haunted.
one.
This one.
Yeah.
I don't get any vibes.
Okay,
I
good.
don't get anything.
Yeah,
It was
fuck you, spirit.
It was more when we first moved in. He was up here asleep. Our room's like right on the other side of this closet. And he texted me and was like, "What are you hammering into the wall?" And I was like, "Nothing." He's like, "You're hammering something in the podcast room." I was like, "Babe, I'm downstairs with the TV on subtitles because I know you're asleep."
Which side is your neighbors on?
There's no neighbors in this side.
The neighbors
So the
on the
neighbor's
opposite
on the
side.
opposite side. And then there's a neighbor on that side, but there's no connecting walls here.
Yeah, this
to
is
a
the
neighbor.
outside wall.
So
That's
I
why
was
it's so
like,
cold.
I was like, I'm downstairs, and he was like, it sounds like someone's hammering like pictures into the wall, like nails to hang up pictures. I was like, no, I'm not doing anything. Well, what was it? Probably like a month later, he was at work because he worked third shift. I was asleep, and I woke up and jumped out of bed, grabbed my gun, came in here because it sounded like they were dragging everything out of this closet. Which, I mean, all of his instruments and everything are in there, but it sounded like they were pulling tubs out of the closet.
And nothing has really happened apart from that?
No. And there was nothing, nothing moved, nothing at all.
And that was when y'all moved in.
It was like probably like 4 or 5 months after we moved in.
Definitely could have been something lingering. If someone here previously did any, bad juju in this room.
Oh, I'm sure.
But as of right now, yeah, especially if you know him, but as of right now, I don't really get anything.
Yeah.
Seems like you're in the clear.
Well, thank God, because I was over it.
Going back to what you were saying earlier about the girl saying, I kind of felt like she was just telling me like whatever I wanted to hear.
Right.
Like
right.
I agree with you on
Yeah.
that level. She was just trying to get me to come back, and then she had even mentioned something about me coming back. And the part that I really didn't like was like, I said, "Can I use this for my podcast?" And she's like, "Oh, all of our stuff is copyrighted." I'm like, "What? That doesn't even make sense. It just sounds like bullshit,
Yeah, she's definitely been told what to say, and that's probably in her higher packet.
For sure.
Yeah, because she kept saying, like, I could teach you how to do this. Like, you could be doing what I do. And I'm like, well, that's a pyramid scheme.
Yeah.
Like, dream interpreter, MLL, like, stay-at-home mom job. Like, don't get it.
I would like to see if it's teachable. I've gave a reading on Mr. James before, but I guess I haven't tried to let you.
It was intense.
Yeah, I
It was
haven't really
intense.
let you try to
Me?
give a reading.
I feel like
Try a
you
reading?
could.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I feel like you could teach someone, but at the same time, like, you can't teach them over the phone. You know what I mean? I feel like you'd
Yeah.
have to be there with
Yeah.
them.
Yeah. Hands on.
So I'm here in Sacramento, California, and we're feeling the same energy in Tennessee. Okay.
Well, I was gonna, especially trying to schedule this and everything. There's ways, yes, that you can have a phone call or the new times a Zoom call. For instance, I did one about 2 weeks ago, but it was a friend that I had a lot of history with. We haven't talked in quite a few years, but there's been enough there that we know one another, and just over the phone, pretty much getting him to, center himself and get a good vibe going. You can connect with someone like that, but definitely if you don't know them, I would say that it's hard not to pull from yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
She's like, "You're powerful." Oh wait, that's me.
Yeah.
But I can teach you how to be
I
powerful.
mean,
I
she
can
could
teach you what I
call
can
her
do.
spirit guide in like 1 second flat. That's
Yeah,
that's
she's-
some
she
skill.
must be pretty
That's
fucking
some
powerful.
Skill. Yeah. That's definitely some skill.
So, all right. So, what is it that makes you, if you don't mind me asking, like, what is it that made you feel like? You said you discovered you were a witch. What was it? What was the defining moment that you said, "Oh shit, there might be something behind this. I might have some kind of weird spooky shit going on.
Yeah,
She got a letter in the mail.
Right, right,
Hogwarts?
right.
I've been waiting on mine. I thought you were supposed to be 11.
Wizard, Abby.
There's always been things since a very early time in life. Yes, it got dark, upper teens, lower 20s, and I was totally into the paranormal. I didn't understand what was going on. Like I said, the strong empath has always been there. The ability to look at someone, and now I've got the skill to where I can almost hear someone and pretty much decipher what's going on, but I can tell what people are going through, what they're thinking, not telepathically, but I know what they're going to say before they say it.
So noted, we're not hanging out with Abby anymore.
Right.
No thoughts are safe.
I like that shirt.
It's more of a.
She's like, I hear you, motherfucker.
It was a strong intuition that started happening, and lo and behold, I was always right. And now we joke about it all the time, but I'm able to. Don't see the cards. Show my hand. I can definitely throw things forth to the universe and let them, unfortunately, manifest. And at work, we can get 2 weeks for COVID. And I was just like, don't you just kind of wish that we get it so we can just have 2 weeks off? And I was like, oh,
And we're
God,
like,
the
no!
universe already heard it.
Don't
There's
put
no
it out
taking
there.
that back.
Oh, it was a joke.
No,
Chill.
that would be horrible. And not in a narcissistic way, but I can, especially if you're a weaker person, manipulate situations. If you're very down, like we have family members that are always in a bind, always in a straight up pickle. And if I were to make contact and talk with them, I'm capable of changing their thought patterns, to give them power or whatever.
Are you talking about like, you said like a weaker person? Are you talking about like hypnosis, like that kind of thing? Or are we talking something different?
Like drug use, laziness, if they're going through something pretty bad in their life and they don't know how to navigate themselves out of that, with one conversation, I can, again, not in a narcissistic way, but persuade someone almost, like a hypnosis. It's very strange.
Yeah.
And of course, when things are happening and people, getting married and all of a sudden, they're like, that's real. Feeling kind of crazy, and I felt stupid for a while, but I just went to my grandmother, and we're very long lineage of strong women, not his favorite.
Other way around. I'm not the favorite.
Yeah.
Oh, an independent man. We don't like that at all.
They don't.
Oh, your white privilege that you already have.
It was years of clashing.
Yeah, they're not the easiest, but I felt I look up to him. So to come with them and be like, hey, I think I'm a witch, and I just felt like they're going to be like, what are you talking about? But instantly I got back, we've been that way for a while.
And you're like, what the fuck
And
did you tell me?
this is not a
Yeah, I
woman
forgot.
that would admit to anything. Well, sort of, I guess she would.
Depends on how much wine she's had.
Yeah. She just knows she's all powerful. So, but for her to say witch, it was kind of empowering in a way of, we're not riding around on broomsticks here. We're not creating potions. Though she's an amazing cook. She can eyeball it. It amazes me. But we're just, I don't know. It's not a generational curse of some point, but it felt good to know that the spooky stuff made sense. The weird things meant, earlier before the show, we were talking about angel numbers. My entire life, every day, twice a day, I've always seen 7-Eleven. And, I'd have to ask the Google gods what all that means. It breaks down to a really positive thing, which has been super hard for me in the past because, depression, mental illness, whatever. It's 7-Eleven means, you got this, keep going. I'm just like, I'm not that person. Why am I always seeing this? But the older I get and the more I understand myself, it's actually an incredible positive thing. But, going back to the start, the empath thing, the wanting to constantly help and then at the expense of myself, just drain myself down to zero. I consider myself a battery pack all day. And at the end of the day, he's like, how are you? I'm like, I'm on 3%. Like, you best just I got to go charge up.
Yeah.
So definitely, I'm in the beginning stages, a quote unquote baby witch, learning. It'll probably be a lifelong thing. But last night I definitely got into the stargazing meditation, and it was just wonderful. Maybe some aliens. I don't know.
When you were talking about you feeling like you're at 3%, like some days I'll wake up and it doesn't matter, like it's not a sleep thing. It's not like a physical energy. It's like a mental energy. Mm-hmm. Like what day was it? Friday or Saturday? I just felt like all day. And there was nothing that could get me out of it. And
it was
really
yesterday.
Sucked. Was it yesterday? Mm-hmm. See, it feels like it was a month ago because it was so shitty. It sucked so much.
Well, to be fair, this year is like 40 years long.
2020 is the worst decade.
But because I've worked through it and everyone else was like, oh, well, I got these breaks and I didn't. I actually worked extra days. Yeah. I'm like, Jesus, fastest year I've ever been in.
Yeah.
It's the shittiest, but the fastest I've ever been in.
Yeah, she's been at the health department since what? March?
February.
Yeah, right before
I was in training.
The major shutdown. So
I was in training, and then we were at a training day, and the news came on, and they were like, "We have our first case of COVID," and we're like, "Shit."
The day before COVID came out, I watched that one Netflix show that had just came out. I forget the name of it now.
The one about
Tiger King?
No, we did one day.
Yeah.
What was it called? Pandemic or something like that? It was like on the nose.
Really?
And the next day it came out. It was crazy. But yeah, I was busy dying from like February to the midsummer. So this year's just like, boom, done.
And she means that very literally.
Yeah.
Like constant surgeries, bleeding out
my
internally.
goodness.
You've told me about
Brutal.
that.
Yeah.
That's awful.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're recovered, and I'm glad you're
he
here
hated
to talk
to
to
hear
us
the
about
description, but dying is not that bad. It's so peaceful.
This warm embrace.
And it was really traumatic, but you just kind of get really warm and happy.
That was it.
He's like, stop talking. Stop talking. This is too much.
I'm not trying to have irrational thoughts right now.
Yeah.
No, I couldn't. No, I woke up with like a side cramp this morning, and I don't know what it was. Like I literally got out of bed, went to the bathroom, and while I was in the bathroom, it was like a pain from my back to my stomach, and I was like crying. Well, I went and laid down. Well, I laid down, immediately was like, "Give me a trash bag. I'm gonna throw up."
That's a kidney stone.
Nothing's happened all day. Nothing since.
And then there's me.
But
she's like, "Go give me a trash bag." I'm like,
we're in the process of trying to get me a diagnosis surgery done to see if I have endometriosis that's spread over to my bowels. So that could be where the pain came from. But it was just like out of nowhere. And I was like, "Give me a trash bag." He was like shuffling. And I'm like, "Calm down." He was like trying to open it. He's like, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Calm down. Like, I'm not going to puke in the bed. Calm down."
oh, she was leaned over on my side. That's why I was really worried.
Yeah, but
She's having major pains, but don't throw up on my bed.
going back to what you just said about yesterday, I wish I would have looked it up because I'm not good at astrology or anything, but there's definitely a retrograde of some planet that is going to make everyone Google God over here.
Yeah.
There he goes.
Pull that shit up, Jamie.
Yeah.
I'm out of data because of that.
Don't I know it?
Yeah.
What planets are Mercury and Scorpio? Mercury enters Sagittarius. I don't know what any of this shit means.
Yeah, I don't understand astrology.
One's near our orbit that's going to, the way that they spin. I'm not either. Again, I'm very fresh in learning everything, but it's all connected somehow, and it's interesting to read up on and get kind of knowledgeable about. There's apps and everything that you can download and be like, oh, well, it looks like, this upcoming week's going to be shitty. This is about to be aligned with us. It's not going to be good. And sure enough, it's always, again, right on the nose. It's always pretty accurate.
I like to be surprised.
I never cared anything about astrology until I read the definition of a Cancer, like the description. I was like, yeah, it's definitely fucking me. I'm definitely fucking Cancer.
I'm a Taurus Gemini, so it doesn't. First day
Not
of Gemini
compatible.
just by like a few hours.
Whoa. so you're on the cusp. You could really
So I
lean
could
either
lean
way.
towards Taurus or Gemini.
And after 50 years of age, you could really change. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm
Great.
like, oh, cool. He's like, lovely.
Hey, can we wait till you're 51 to get married?
Wow, rude.
Yeah, I'm a Sagittarius and he's a Virgo, so I'm like bonkers, and he's just like, hush, you're okay.
Please calm down.
It's purely analytical.
Listen.
I just looked up Gemini and Cancer compatibility, 5%. All right. How the fuck we make this work? I don't know.
Sagittarius doesn't really work with anything, I don't think.
I don't think Leos belong with anyone either, but you
That's my
know,
sister.
that's my best friend, my dad, my brother.
Oh, I definitely get it with your
nephew.
brother. All right, so we're right about the 20-minute mark. Let's go ahead and take a break, and we'll come back and we'll do a reading. Sound good?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So we're going to start off with a little group meditation. So when y'all are ready, again, close your eyes. Make sure your feet y'all are taller, so y'all don't have that trouble. I do sometimes. Make sure your feet are flat. Try to become more present with whatever you're touching at the moment, whether that be, like I said, the backs of your calves on the chair, your feet on the ground. If you're touching the table, I'm going to go ahead and wake up my cards. I'm going to call forth my spirit guide with peace, love, and understanding. Deep breaths. What I want you to do is picture your feet getting warmer, starting at your toes, the balls of your feet. And while with every deep breath, picture that moving up just a little bit more. Spirit guides come with peace, love, and understanding. Relax every tension in your thighs, your legs. Let your stomachs relax. And if you can, move your head around. Spirit guides come with peace, love, and understanding. All right. Okay. Here we go. And this is for Mr. Dylan. We're going to go where you were, where you are, and where you're going. If you can focus on your intent, whether that be what you want to know, where you want to go, any answers. Where you're from. Where you are. And the instruction card, I told y'all that it was in there. Perfect. I mentioned that and it happens.
He even said that you were going to draw that shit too.
I did say I don't know how to play by the rules.
All right. So to break this down, we've got two forward facings, which actually means what the card means. And when you get a reversed card, it kind of means the opposite of what it means. And this is the Rider deck. It does come with a huge manual that's going to break down each card, but since we're in 2020, you can now buy the book online and have the app installed. So this is going to be the Emperor of the Major Arcadia. So what I'm going to do is just pull this It is not like my book at all. Draw a card, today's card. All right, seated upon his throne in a sage man, clothed in lavish robes and armor, his white beard, flowing hair indicates a man of mature years, wise in worldly matters, and filled with knowledge and experience. To use a modern expression, he has been there, done that, and got the t-shirt. He is a martial figure. The ram's horn on the throne indicates the zodiac sign Aries, ruled by the planet Mars. In his right hand, the emperor holds the Egyptian symbol of life. The emperor controls his world through his feminine symbol. In his left hand, the emperor holds the orb to balance spirit and matter. This shows the emperor uses love and harmony. The orb represents dominion over his subjects. The orb resolves severity and mercy, love and strength, yin and yang in perfect harmony. So that's the breakdown of everything that you're pretty much seeing they're going to cover. So in the upright position is going to say for you, and again, this is where you're from. So we can consider that childhood, adolescence, or anything prior to today. Depending on what your intent was, is how it's going to read. But again, if anything more so reaches out during childhood, adolescent, or anything prior to today, then it's really focusing on that time in your life. Masculine power, leadership, authority, benevolence, stability, protection, realization, and a great person. Very nice.
I'm powerful.
Yes.
She wasn't lying.
Maybe. If this card appears in a reading, it can be represent dictation and discipline to the task ahead, or victory over strife. It could also represent an older, very stable person who can assist your chair.
Querent?
Bringing leadership, guidance, and courage into the situation. The Emperor may also indicate energy to strive for a better way of life. It is a good card for people beginning further education, as the Emperor symbolizes the ability to strengthen mental activity. The card also heralds the results of decisive action, as well as a strong masculine libido.
Word.
Get it.
All right, and where you are, let's see, is going to be Temperance from the Major Arcana. Temperance, where are you? This is actually a pretty good breakdown on this app. Again, the Rider app for the Rider deck. All right, so the Archangel Michael stands between the water and earth. This is describing the card, what all you're seeing, and again, where you are. Water and earth, his great wings outstretched, keeping him from in perfect balance. One foot lies in the crystal clear river, the other poised upon the bank. In his hands he holds 2 golden cups, and he is pouring water from one into the other. The symbol on the fire element, the upright triangle, is embezzled upon his pure white robe, and a corona of light extends upon his head. Beside him, 2 golden irises, sacred to the Greek goddess of the rainbow, are in full bloom. The symbols of the flowers speak of the internal rainbow linking heaven to earth. In the mountain beyond, there is an image of a golden crown. It is symbolic of the Archangel Michael's mastery over the water and earth. The water represents the subconscious mind. The earth indicates the conscious mind. Michael is at the ease in both of the elements. The flow of the water of one cup to the other unites consciousness and subconscious mind, spirit, and matter. Here is a great guardian angel who leads us towards the path of attainment, symbolized by the crown glowing upon the mountain's peak. So for where you are is in the upright position, which actually means exactly what the reading's going to mean. It also, as where you are right now, is if with a deep breath you're picturing every emotion that you can kind of have a clear memory of, which is typically about 2 weeks back. Whether that's, your good feelings, your bad feelings, any questions that you've had, pretty much represents where you are currently. In the upright position, adaptation, tempering, coordination, cooperation, self-control, moderation, harmony, and good management. Temperance is about self-control and moderating your actions. The Fool has now begun to find equilibrium. With temperance comes a harmony and the ability to work with others. By cooperating with other people, you can achieve great things. All that you have imagined or dreamed of achieving will now be realized. Everything comes down to you working on improving yourself and not through another person's involvement. Life is in perpetual movement. Take time out before you make any decisions. Meditate upon what you wish to happen. Your higher self is now coming into play. Like an artist, let your imagination flow and listen to what your dreams are telling you to do. I like that.
So, just as a heads up, this is way cooler and way more interesting than calling Miss Cleo to ask her about my dreams.
I like that. That was...
My hands are sweating, by the way. Unrelated, I guess.
All right, so where you're going, the Lovers. Reversed, so... Yeah, two naked people for the camera. Oh, is the camera? The camera is.
We're gonna get canceled.
I just now realized that. The Rider cards are a bit, artistic. So these are all major Cardia cards, which are super cool that you drew through 3 of those. I guess I'm just now noticing that.
What is major Cardia?
The major symbols, and then everything pretty much breaks up after that. So you've got cups, you've got sun, sword, crown. I guess we could probably put that as more towards the stave line. Pentacles maybe, but the cups for sure. So this is pretty much the head cards. All your other cards are pretty much breakdowns of everything else. That's actually pretty neat now that I'm just realizing that.
Told you motherfuckers I was powerful.
Stability. I'm definitely getting a stable... You're not crazy, are you?
I hope not.
A very stable sense. That's pretty cool. All right. Don't have to look far. He even has one on here. Rated R. All right. A naked man and woman, symbolic of Adam and Eve, stand under the outstretched hands of the Archangel Raphael, who represents the superconscious. His hands are raised in blessings as he gazes down upon the couple. He understands their mystery. The woman represents the subconscious mind, and the man, the conscious. He has been burning tree of ambition behind him as he looks on the woman for guidance. It is if he is barely aware of Raphael's presence. The woman, on the other hand, is fully aware of the angel, gazing into his serene face. Behind her is the tree of life, rich with fruit of knowledge, with the wise serpent entwined in the tree's branches, whispering to her the secrets of immortality, life, death, positive, negative. Long before it was condemned to represent evil, the serpent was a symbol of eternal life, forever shedding its skin to renew itself. So as far as where you're going can represent basically from, of course, this day forward. So any questions, of course, if I see Lovers, I'm just going to think of y'all too, that maybe we're getting more into your intent. I don't know what you were focusing on.
Tori, bleeding into it.
Sorry.
She's like, he's going to marry me.
Maybe that was her intent.
My whole intent was just like, don't leave.
All right. And like I said, it definitely goes off of, your intent on what you put out there. So even if it says the lovers, don't let it focus on, that meaning anything directly related to just relationship. Definitely focus more on your intent. So with that being reversed, the good part of the upright position would mean its actual meaning, which is choice, attraction, love, beauty, temptation, mental and spiritual harmony, and marriage. So the reversal.
We're fucked.
What was your intent?
No. Well, basically, do not act thoughtlessly. Stop being, I hope that's not my phone messing with the mic. Stop being childish and indecisive. Make partnership count for something solid. These are not trivial issues. If partnerships are to mean anything in your life, this card can indicate infidelity, a marriage breakdown, emotions running, and choices being made that lead to only heartbreak and disappointment.
Wow, don't look at me like that.
No.
Here's looking at you, shitbird.
No, so what I'm going to pull from that is definitely, with a lot of relationships, is there a communication problem sometimes?
Always.
Okay. Easily fixable. It's not really to
Oh, yeah,
focus
no.
on.
Just when we argue, we are totally different people of how we handle stress.
Yeah.
So, like,
Rather common.
yeah. So, like, I'm one of those who it's like, no, we're going to talk about it right here, right now, get it over with, walk away. He's one of those, I need like an hour, 2 hours. I need to be alone. I need to think about it. And I'm like, you're going to talk to me right now. And he's like, no, I'm not. And then it just.
I'm one of those who I need to step away for a minute, because if I say something now, I'm going to say something I don't mean. Or I'm going to say something like because I'm mad just to piss you off.
Yeah,
So I
really,
need like
that
10 or
petty
15.
below the belt.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm going to hurt you.
Yeah.
Did
Yeah.
your intent have to do with relationship-wise?
No, not at all.
Okay. Cool. That
I
is
think a lot of
definitely
that,
the
too.
app messing with it.
What was your intent? Can we ask that?
We can. It's not going to break the chain at this point.
Okay.
But some people.
I mean, if you don't want to talk about it, that's fine.
I was just thinking about like focusing on like how badly I want to be successful as either a comedian or a podcaster, or just like being able to have the money to help my friends out when they need it, like things like that.
Perfect.
So could that go along with like
Perfect.
that communication?
Yeah. Definitely when you pull the Lovers card, it doesn't, like I said, have to represent relationship. It represents more partnership. That can be relationship, job, friends, family.
You hear that, Ethan?
Talking that shit. There we go again.
So what I'm definitely sensing, like it said, you're dealing with indecisiveness, and with that, for me, comes the indecisiveness of either the day to day or the big leap, both of which are hard, covered in fear. You know, it's. Speaking of infidelity, can be giving up one of those things at a major cost. Not so much relationship. Again, it can be partnership. Either that's sticking with a day-to-day thing, or taking a risk and leaving that behind and making a pretty big jump. But with the reversal, it's saying to definitely stop those things. And if that's your intent, the card's already laid, so you're good. These aren't playing on your intent any longer. It seems that something's definitely telling you, which is interesting, because I wish again, maybe in a minute we can go over what that first dream was. I keep getting a sense that you're definitely scared to make some major leap that obviously you're craving. In a loving way, and loving means, yes, to do those things, to provide for others, to have this great life, to quit everything that maybe like a generational curse. I don't know about your background, but what your family has maybe done, you just want to just boom, start over and be this, big life now. I'm definitely getting the sense from before, which made you want me to bring me on the show. And now, don't be scared or indecisive. It seems something's telling you you're okay to jump. And with that, in our, we're living in 2020. Unfortunately, you got to do the day-to-day thing. But in free time, something definitely needs you to focus. And it seems that they're telling you the big jump's okay. Is definitely what I'm getting from that. Don't leave it behind. Don't treat it bad. Give it your all. And basically, stop playing around because it seems to be almost time. And so with that, I'm going to say where you're going looks pretty damn good.
Hell yeah. Tori, do you want to do your reading now?
Yeah, let's go ahead and
If
pause
that's
it
okay.
for a minute. And then we'll be right back and we'll do mine.
Spirit guide, come to us with peace, love, and understanding. Spirit guide, come with peace, love, and understanding. All right. So we're going to go where you were, where you are, and where you're going. And where. All right.
Well, that's not good.
Not always, not always. Everybody gets scared of the reversed cards. My candle is officially out. You've thank it and let it go. That's good while it lasted. Is that smoke going to be a problem for the camera?
It's okay.
It sets the mood.
It's kind of out of frame over here.
All right. So what are we saying? I hate to have to touch it.
The Hierophant?
Words, y'all. Sometimes I just can't do them. All right, but we are a Major Arcadia. This is going to be the Staves and a Pinnacle. All right, so again, handy dandy app. Again, Rider deck, Rider app. I am giving it 5 stars when I get back home. It's pretty good. I wish it had a breakdown of this word, because as I read this, I'm going to have to... Do you want to let Google say this for us out loud?
The Hierophant?
Hierophant.
Hierophant. All right, there we go. Again, words. Words. I don't want to get this too close to the mic. Y'all. Words.
Orthodoxy.
Okay. I have to do this to him. What did I do? I took a picture of the word the other day during my schoolwork.
She took a screenshot of something she's doing for school, and she's like, I've been trying to sound this out for 10 minutes. It was cyclical.
Yeah,
I was saying sigh, and it was just messing me
She
up.
was like, is that like us? And I said, yeah.
Oh, all right. Orthodoxy dictates that you should obey while freedom of choice dictates that you have the option to disobey. This choice is the gift of the... Say it.
Orthodoxy?
No.
Or Hierophant? Cyclical?
Hierophant. Okay, Hierophant. All right, you can edit
It's
all
like
that
Beetlejuice.
out. Oh, no. Not all the wealth of Rome and Vatican City can compel you. Only you have the power of free choice. In his scarlet robe and his papal crown, the Hierophant sits upon his throne between the pillars of severity and mercy. The pillars are the only symbolism carried over from the high priestess image. In his left hand, the Hierophant holds a staff divided into 3 crosses representing 3 realms. And again, this is just a breakdown of what y'all are seeing on the card. The Hierophant holds a staff divided into 3 crosses representing 3 realms. The highest realm is the creative spiritual world, the realm of the soul. The middle realm is the world of manifestation, and the lower realm is the world of our primordial. Yay, nature. This triplicity is also reflected in his papal crown. Papal, thank you. And there's so much more on this one, but we're going to go ahead. I can send that to you. But again, it's just what you're seeing. So the upright position would mean religion, ritual, conformity, orthodoxy, captivity, servitude, or who gives spiritual advice or marriage. Yours is reverse, so basically the reverse of all of the upright stance. So that would be spiritual creativity, openness to new ideas, invention, bohemian attitudes, and idolism. The querent... Stop moving your chair. That, I got it. Has the innate ability to come up with the novel ideas and solutions to problems. This ability lies just beneath the conscious mind. All of us have... I don't know how far away to hold this.
No, you're okay. It's not as loud as you think it is.
It's so
Yeah,
loud.
it doesn't. It usually doesn't show up too much in the actual podcast. You just hear it in your headphones a lot.
Yeah, I am. This ability lies just beneath the conscious mind. All of us have the hippie within us, the 1960s flower child who craves openness, spiritual freedom, and the ability to explore spiritual interest and fulfill their own spiritual desires. The freedom should be balanced with the risk of accepting superstitions or false philosophies. Remember to challenge all ideas that present themselves. Do not be sucked in by all the irrational New Age ideas coming down the pike. Don't waste your life following... It just exited out. Did I get it? Y'all edit this. The Empress, no. I'm getting there.
5 stars, huh?
Yeah. No, I touched it. I don't know the buttons or the symbols yet. This freedom should be balanced with the risk of accepting superstitions or false philosophies. Remember to challenge all ideas to present themselves. Do not be sucked in by all the irrational New Age ideas coming down the pike. Don't waste your life following a charismatic leader blindly. Find out the facts, challenge your own assumptions, and stick to your truth. You've always known who you are, apparently.
So it's funny that you were saying, like, it's about religion and blah, blah. And I was like, oh, me questioning it my whole life. Mm-hmm. And then you're like, now it's upside down. And I was like, yep.
See, that's what I'm saying. When a lot of people who know about tarot is that, well, you know, if you get a reverse card, that's bad. That's... Mm-hmm. It's not always. Sometimes the simple reverse of what it would have been is actually, you know, like you're seeing, kind of better. But this is where you're from. So with it saying, you know, the flower child, you've never wanted to be like the rest. That's kind of the vibe that I get from you anyway. So that's super cool. You've always been self-aware, it seems. And so...
Definitely the black sheep.
Yeah, and that's not always a bad thing. You've got some black sheep come up with some good things. All right, so the 5 is going to be the where. See how, again, I'll give it 5 stars. It's pretty good, y'all. For writer.
User error.
I just keep... It is. It really is. I just did this because I did not want to be like, well, here's the card. Push all those off the table. Let me pull out the book. All right. Cards. We are going to have small talk while I
know, that's nice.
There's so many cards, y'all. I have to...
What's the name of this one? The 5 what?
The 5 stars.
The 5 stars. No. This is the 5 of It's not Pinnacles staves?
Yeah.
Staffs?
Staves?
Staves?
Pinnacles. The third
Oh,
one.
look.
5 of Wands.
Oh, look, it's wands. Look down here. See? 5 stars. I'm giving them 5 stars. They have it broken up into categories. 5 stars. All right. I'm figuring it out. Unfortunately, I'm doing this day of. A group of well-dressed young men seem to be engaged in a battle, although none of them is dressed in armor. They stand with their legs apart, allowing them to balance as they brandish their wands in what may be a form of mock combat. The wands seem to be entangled and entwined, and none of the participants appear to be physically hurt in any way. Again, just describing what we're seeing on the card. The upright position for this would mean competition, the struggle for wealth, mental agility, change through courage. Yours is for where you are, and it is reversed, which, depending on your intent, which I'll say that 1,000 times like we did with him, we can talk about later, is trickery, contradiction, a mock struggle, quarreling, rashness, disputes, and litigation. This card reversed warns that the battle you are in is an illusion. As serious as it may seem, it is deceptive. Regardless of whether there is a personal conflict or a legal situation, just relax. It is not as bad as it seems. Do not jump headfirst into the situation with all guns blazing. You will only make the situation worse. Sit back, be patient, and let the things take its course.
Okay, so Dylan knows I've been having a battle with myself.
Yeah.
Like a pretty big one.
Me too, 2020.
Yeah. So it's been very like high highs and then very low lows. And he's always like, what's wrong? I'm like, I genuinely have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like a constant battle with like telling myself like you're doing it to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. Self-deprecation.
Yeah.
Don't, again, just, it doesn't seem to be real. And like you were from where you were, the card, you're pretty self-aware. And the fact that you know what you're going through and you can already call the bull, be strong with that.
Yeah.
Be strong with that and keep working on it. You said you're 26?
27.
27. At 30, the world change. It'll just change for you. You'll get so much mentally stronger.
It clicks.
It's
Like just
something
immediate.
I
It's
mean,
crazy.
the older you get, the wiser you get. It's not really a lie, you know. So if you're already aware and practicing that, I'm seeing positive things from that. You're aware of it. Don't give up on letting your mind trick you. It's not real. You're funny. You're beautiful.
Well, thanks.
Just
Damn, girl.
keep fighting, you know. All right. So we're going to go to where you're going, Page of Pentacles, and now I know how to work the app for Writer, y'all. I'm just going to keep plugging it. 5 stars.
Not a sponsor.
Not a sponsor.
Sponsor me.
Please sponsor. Leaves a 5-star
I mean,
review.
look, it's got the cards pretty broke down into categories down here. I did not see that.
That's awesome.
5 stars. All right, we're going 1. No, page. Again, it's just better than me having my big book here. All right, a pleasant young man holds up a golden disc engraved with a pinnacle, the 5 pointed stars. The pinnacle represents all of the elements in harmony with spirit. The Page of Pentacles is well dressed. As his red headdress suggests, the page has a strong will. He definitely knows his own mind, all about him. The fields, hills, and valleys are coming into summer. The plowed field awaits the summer crops. Flowers blossom at the page's feet, and the trees are in full leaf. This is an earthly card, all about stability and growth on the material level. Our youth is studious and diligent. He is a careful person who is not afraid of challenging and rewarding work. This is a good card to use as a significator for a young academic, a person who thrives on new ideas. This is a good significator for a young person of either sex with a dark complexion, dark hair, and eyes. Again, just describing the card. Getting this away from the mic. So the upright position is what it would mean in its true form. What?
No.
A conscientious person,
That
a
one.
scholar, an introvert, a messenger of good fortune, reflection, good management, and carefulness. Like all of yours, they're reversed, so it's going to mean the opposite, which is a decadent person. I'm getting it tonight. Waste, idleness, disappointing meeting, delayed messages. The Page of Pentacles reverse describes a youth whose excessive behaviors result in wasted efforts or missing money. Someone who has made themselves vulnerable to thieves and tricksters. This is a card of the prodigal son who has yet to return. Any management meetings you attend will go wrong and will waste your time. Consider canceling them or sending your apologies for not attending until things improve. Y'all. This seems to be a time when everything, not 5 stars, y'all. This seems to be a time with everything you try lacks coherence. Do not be stubborn regarding any mistakes you may have made. Don't ignore them, learn from them. It is time to plant the plowed field, so to speak. Time to allow new ideas to emerge and grow to fruition. Keep pushing forward. Take the task at hand instead of standing idly by. This card can also indicate that the news you are waiting for may be delayed due to the actions of others.
Don't look at me.
Yikes.
Now that we're done,
My intention was,
Yeah, I was gonna
finding
say-
myself and figuring out what I wanted to do with my life. So that kind of worked.
so say that again for me one more time.
It was like me trying to figure out like who I am
Growth.
and like growth and like what I want to be in the future and like where I'm going.
And you're at that perfect age for that too.
Yeah. And so like we've talked about, he's going back to school. Like he's already applied. He starts everything. And we talked about like when he's done, when we get through that big hurdle, I want to go back. And I don't want to go back for like a 4-year degree or anything because I want to do something with art. I want to be like free and be myself. And I just want to go back and do something where like I have a steady income, but I'm not tied down to a schedule. So I was like, I want to do something in like cosmetology or art or videography or do something like that where I can have more of my own schedule.
Right.
To work on my actual dream of what I want to do for my life, but also have a steady income and not feel weighed down by going to work.
So exactly how you just put that last part. So with that, kind of when you're giving a reading, and it would be easier with this mic issue if I had my book, so I could just, sometimes when people are telling me their intent, I kind of go back if I'm not too sure what I'm seeing here. But what I'm really sensing from what you just said, from your intent, and what I'm now pulling from this is that that's a really smart decision to focus on what you feel like you need to handle one step at a time. Do it one step at a time. And what I can say with you being in a partnership is that there's going to be not so much a crutch, but you have somebody to lean on, so especially with how his reading went, it seems that you're stronger with the one problem at a time. Tackle it, move forward. And if that's your intent, again, from what I've gotten from everything is that you are extremely self-aware. And though your mind is playing tricks on you currently, you're aware to battle through it. And it seems that you're aware of not getting too much on your plate at one time. So if you know that a job needs to go first and then pause from that and move into one other thing, instead of, it seems like what I'm getting is you're not a person that would, especially with what you're saying your mind is doing right now, you may fall apart with a full plate.
Oh, 100%.
And that with just focusing on one thing at a time that you're so self-aware with that you need, you already know that that's what keeps you strong. And for Tori to be 100%, she needs to tackle one fight at a time. And if that's meeting a financial goal and then going to school and either part-time and let you see that you can get those A's and then go to full-time or whatever you feel, if you need to break life up into little chunks and conquer them, your self-awareness has you've known who you are since childhood. And you know how you work, and that's an incredible trait. A lot of older people are still trying to figure that out. And it seems like, from what I'm gathering, around the age of 6, you've pretty much known.
It's funny that Sierra asked for dreadlocks and tattoos for my birthday.
The hippie child, yeah. The flower child, I think, is what they called it in your reading. This dreadlocks, that's hilarious. You've always had a supreme awareness. You know you would fall apart with a full plate. Don't do it. If that's your intent, one day at a time. And know that every day Tori wakes up at 100%, and by God, I'm going to go to bed at 100%. You know, one step at a time, one foot at a time. You've got a great gift with being so self-aware. That's not a lot of people, unfortunately, get to have that by the time
he can
they call
handle like all the things.
Some people do. Some people can.
He thrives off of all the things.
Chaos. That's my favorite. I love it.
Some people love the
organized chaos.
I call it. I've always said that I have beautiful chaos. You know, like I love. I can handle.
See, well, with him, he's always like, he jokes because there's always those like memes where it's like, you have that one friend who made an itinerary for your trip, and I'm like, no, but really, like, we have to be up by 7 if we want to get the day done. And I'm like, we need to be done eating by 1:30. Like, we have to have this done.
Yeah.
And then there's me who's like, we'll be there Wednesday, right? We'll eat sometime at Wednesday.
Point, yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, we have to have a break between each meal where he's like, well, let's go here, here, and here, just back to back, and then just take it with us. And I'm like, it's not how you eat. Like, that's not how you do things.
So, and I'm really happy. Sometimes I did with Mr. James's reading as well, just to fully be able to picture what I'm picturing here, especially once I know someone's intent that they threw out there. And again, the cards are out, so your intent can't really play a role anymore. So that's sometimes why I like to know. It's just kind of fun for me. I don't know. Is that, I don't know, you've got about, I would say, your goals are more what? Less than a 10-year goal? Do you focus on more of like the 3 to 5 year chunk? You try to like set goals and be like, okay, by the time, 27, by the time I'm 30.
Well, I literally set them for the year.
You said earlier that you like 3 to 5, 0, 3, 5.
0, 3, 5.
Because then I was going to say from like 27 to 30, 30 to 35, 35 to 40, you like to break your goals down into chunks. And I don't know where I was going with that, but the reading that I got right here that's so cool to me right now is that I got about a 5-year goal right here. I felt you throwing out, and again, it's not a trick, knowing your intent. I know I'm able to pull a feeling that if that's your intent, I got about a 5-year-ish, 3 to 5 years, I feel comfortable with saying that your intent, I think you want to know something, by 30, your lower 30s. That's what you're trying to do. You've set a goal, and it seems as though you're self-aware. First off, 100, you got it, but you are going to get it. And one of the boys are going to say.
Our big thing was him, like, going to school. The program he's going to is 20 months. So if he finishes in 20 months, like, this is how my brain works, and it takes him 4 to 5 months to get a job. That's a year. So it's 2 years. I can then know what he's going to be making, have that financial set to the side, figure out what we can do for me to start school by 30.
Yeah.
So, like, that's where my mind's been, is like, I have 3 years.
That's been your
he
goal,
can get through
yeah.
school. By 30, I can go back and figure out what I want to do with my life. So by 35, I can have my business.
Perfect.
And I was like, that's where my mind's been.
And if you're questioning that, you know, Tori gets to go to bed tonight feeling 100% that you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you were already self-aware enough to make that happen. That's, I can't emphasize, it doesn't sound like that's a strong skill. That's an incredible skill to have. Incredible. So I'm really glad with...
I'm glad the way those went, because I was nervous.
No, it's not like going to a psychic. I don't even...
I let this guy get... I literally left the psychic full tears, shaking.
Yeah. Yeah,
Like-
they conjure.
What she literally was like holding a Bible in her hand, had a rosary in her other hand, and there were like the Mother Mary candles lit everywhere.
Speaking of tricksters, you know, sometimes what's whispering to them is not the good guy.
Yeah, and I was like,
I always
Yeah.
joke about how if I ever walked into a psychic, they'd be like, you need to leave. There is darkness around you, boy.
but thank you. I liked that.
Yeah,
now
this is,
that
this
we
is
did
really
it.
cool.
That was a lot better than I expected.
Well, good. I know you had fear about it. A lot of people do,
did.
and that's why I like to put it out there. It's not all...
Well, I was just scared that I was going to be like, oh, God, I'm going to get this horrible fucking reading. It's going to be like, but you need help. And I was like, oh, God.
No, it's been pretty neat. I
Yeah.
really enjoyed that one, actually.
That was
That
really
was
nice.
It seems that you're a pretty cool kid. So
I was a nightmare.
wild.
Very against my
Was.
mother.
Was, she says. Okay.
Very against my parents' wishes.
Thank you guys for coming. I appreciate it. I really enjoyed this. This is cool as hell to me. The dream interpretations one was kind of like, whatever. I just wanted to try something out, and it was not the result I was expecting. So then for you to come on and actually do a read, this is really cool, really interesting. I learned a lot. Thanks for being here again. Like, this is, I don't know, like, this is so cool to me. My hands are still sweating.
Well, I pushed myself outside of my limits, too. You know, I said, you know, I have to bring him introvert. So
Yeah.
definitely a fan, and y'all got a good thing going.
Yeah, she was really concerned beforehand that she wasn't going to talk at all,
Yeah.
and that I
Okay.
wasn't going to shut up.
You know
Yeah.
how
It's
you
been quite the
asked
opposite.
Jennifer the most embarrassing thing?
Yeah.
I'm such an introvert. That's the joke that I told him. I went to a party one time, and the only word I spoke was at the end of the night saying goodbye.
Holy shit. We wouldn't allow that at our parties, though, because somebody would have said something to you, been like, hey, so who the fuck are you? What are you doing over
James
there
knew
standing
me
on
as
the
a
wall?
teenager. I'd
Yeah.
never shut up.
No.
I would not have allowed that.
Anyway, this has been another episode of At Least You Know Comedy Show. Thank you guys for watching and listening, whatever platform you're on. I'm trying to expand it to everything, but we'll see what happens. What else was I going to say? I had one more fucking thing. Son of a bitch. I always do that. I always forget. I don't know. What did you guys think about this episode? I thought it was a lot better than the Dream
It did great.
Interpretations.
It was
I
great.
thought it was great. Let us know in the comments. Subscribe. Tell your friends about us.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.